Taking you live to Sydney, this is where the Rugby League Players Association is announcing major strike action. This is after negotiations for better pay and conditions stalled. They're going to boycott media appearances. Let's listen in live.
The NRL players the COVID reduced benefits, despite accepting record revenue throughout the last 12 months. I'd like to emphasise that the gravity of this situation that we now find ourselves in today, that we are extremely disappointed in the breakdown of these negotiations because we believe it's a blatant disregard to the rights and the welfare and well-being of all the players. This is absolutely a clear attempt to intimidate the players into a deal that they believe undermines their rights, their voice and their control over their own careers, and unanimously they have agreed that they will not continue with these types of tactics. And that is why from Thursday the 6th of July, tomorrow, our players will be boycotting all broadcast and media engagements on days when the NRL and NRLW and State of Origin matches are scheduled. This includes pre-match, half-time, post-match interviews, as well as press conferences and other media opportunities. Further details regarding this boycott, as well as the outcomes we're requesting from the NRL and the ARL Commission, will be provided in a statement, which I'm sure by now you will have received. I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge the strength and the courage of our players, particularly our NRLW players, who continue to break barriers and pave the way for the future generations of little girls that want to play this game. As a woman in a leadership role within the Rugby League, I understand the significance of their presence and the importance of their voices being heard. Our sport, our players and our fans deserve better, and we stand with them and we urge the NRL and the ARL Commission to do the same. I'd now like to hand you over to our CEO.
Yeah, thanks everyone. As the CEO of the Rugby League Players Association, I want to add to the Chair's message and provide further context. I'd also like to thank the recent facilitator of the negotiations for his dedication to achieve a good outcome for all. However, negotiations require a different approach, but his contribution is greatly appreciated. This issue hits home for me on a personal level. I've lived and breathed this sport as a fan, player and administrator for as long as I can remember. I understand the sacrifices our players make and the risks they take every time they step onto the field. Their careers can be fleeting and they deserve to have their rights and welfare protected. Over the past 20 months, we have seen a disturbing pattern of behaviour from the NRL and the ARL Commission. What we have seen is a failure to respect the role of the players, representative body, erosion of fundamental player rights, and attempts to buy off players without understanding this CBA is about so much more than money. They have failed to honour their commitments in providing a CBA everyone can be proud of, one that respects the player's irreplaceable role. They did not properly disclose financial information and payments owed to players and disregarded their collective concerns. The players have shown tremendous patience and goodwill through this process, but their trust and resolve has been tested time and time again. I want to be clear that we have been forced into this position, and importantly, our issue is not with the media. Unfortunately, unless we were prepared to fail in our obligations to appropriately represent and protect our members, both current and future, the only choice we are left with is to take action. It's important to understand that this action will be seen by some players as not hard enough. But for now, this is considered appropriate action given the NRL's take it or leave it response, which now rewinds much of the good outcomes we were all optimistic of and hopeful of securing. We must also remember not to let this dispute overshadow the connection between the players and the fans. While there is no game without players, there is no profession without fans. Fans are the lifeblood of this game, and our players are dedicated to playing for them and providing the entertainment they deserve. They have a deep connection with the community because they too all started this journey as a fan. We entered into negotiations with the hope of reaching a fair and reasonable agreement that addresses the needs and interests of all players, NRL and NRLW. We made concessions, we engaged in good faith, and we presented a settlement proposal that did not ask for a single dollar more than what had already been agreed upon in December. Yet the NRL responded with over 100 changes that would have set the players backward in many key areas. This response was unacceptable, with clear erosion of player rights, including taking away player rights on their personal player property and data and medical information, exploiting the player property, controlling how players spend their money on player funds and their benefits, increasing the number of matches without player agreement, and making players pay for things they shouldn't have to, such as insurances and other benefits that are not afforded to players. This player action is about safeguarding the integrity of the NRL and NRLW competitions and standing up for what's right. We urge the NRL and ARL Commission to come to the table and provide the players with a fair deal, one that everyone can move forward into the future and stand proudly behind. As one of the leaders in our game, I'm fearful and concerned about the trajectory of our game. With all major stakeholder agreements unsigned, unresolved and unannounced. These include the NRL and NRLW CBA, club licensing agreements, New South Wales Rugby League and Queensland Rugby League membership agreements, NRL and NRLW grand final venue and location, and International Rugby League schedule and structure. We need to come together and provide certainty for everyone. This must be a non-negotiable. Let us not forget, our game is the only game in world sport that started due to players' and workers' rights, and a dispute that happened more than 100 years ago. Well, here we are again, except it's our own governing body that we're holding a dispute with. We are standing up and stepping forward to represent the will and conviction of all our players and the players that have come before them. And we will continue to stand firm for the benefit of current, past and future players and the overall health and success of the game. Thank you.